Are you feeling overwhelmed by endless notifications, looming deadlines, and a to-do list that never seems to end? Your mind is constantly pulled in a million directions, leaving you scattered and unfocused. But what if there was a time-tested way to silence the chaos, harness laser-sharp focus, and finally make real progress toward your goals? In this video, you'll discover the Lotus Method, an ancient practice rooted in Eastern philosophy that can transform your distracted mind into one of clarity, calm, and purpose. Don't let distraction keep holding you back. Watch now and take the first step toward a life of focus and achievement. Chapter 1. Struggle with resistance. Rohan is brimming with potential, just like you. He dreams big and has clear goals like getting fit, excelling in his career, and improving his personal life. But every time he tries to take meaningful action, something seems to hold him back. It's not that Rohan lacks motivation. He watches motivational videos, listens to inspiring podcasts, and devours self-improvement books. Yet, when the moment comes to take action, his mind resists. Instead of working on his goals, he finds himself mindlessly scrolling through his phone or choosing something more comfortable and effortless. He's trapped in a frustrating cycle of procrastination and self-doubt. And the hardest part? Rohan knows exactly what's happening, but feels powerless to break free. Rohan, feeling stuck and frustrated, decides to seek help from Master Zen, a wise teacher known for his deep understanding of the mind. After listening to Rohan pour out his struggles, Master Zen nods knowingly and says, "This isn't just your problem, it's a universal one. The mind has a way of avoiding discomfort. Every time we face a challenge that feels hard or unfamiliar, the mind seeks refuge in distractions, scrolling through social media, playing games, even getting lost in daydreams. You feel like you're battling yourself, don't you? No matter how much motivational content you consume, the impact fades, and you're left right where you started. That's because motivation, while powerful, is fleeting. What you need is something deeper, something grounded in wisdom. The mind is often like a wild monkey leaping from one thought or distraction to the next, avoiding anything that feels uncomfortable or challenging. Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. And that, Rohan, is what you're facing. Your own mind is sabotaging you, pulling you away from what truly matters towards what feels safe and comfortable in the moment. The ancient monks understood this struggle and developed methods to tame the mind, bringing it into focus, clarity, and calm. What you're experiencing, Rohan, isn't just your battle. It's the human condition. The mind naturally resists challenges. It seeks safety and familiarity. But the teachings of Eastern philosophy, particularly those behind the Lotus Method, show us a different path. Resistance isn't something to be fought with brute force. The first step is awareness. The mind resists because it's trying to protect you from discomfort. But once you become aware of this tendency, the dynamic begins to shift. Awareness is key. When you understand that your mind is wired to avoid discomfort, you can stop being so hard on yourself. Instead of fighting your mind, you learn to work with it. This, my son, is the first lesson of the Lotus Method, said Master Zen. Rohan sits quietly, reflecting on Master Zen's words and how they apply to his life. The Master said, "Rohan, go and mindfully apply this lesson in your daily life, and you will achieve success." For Rohan, the battle is clear now. His mind resists, because that's how it's wired, to seek comfort and avoid discomfort. But instead of fighting it, Rohan begins to approach his thoughts with curiosity and awareness. He starts noticing the moments when his mind pulls him toward distractions, whether it's reaching for his phone during a tough task or procrastinating on something important. He pauses and acknowledges what's happening. Rohan doesn't scold himself anymore or try to force his mind to behave differently. Instead, he observes. "Ah, there it is again, my mind trying to protect me from discomfort," he thinks. This simple act of awareness becomes a turning point. Each time he recognizes this resistance, he practices sitting with it, observing it without judgment. It's no longer about suppressing these thoughts, but about understanding them. This shift makes Rohan feel lighter, as if a weight has been lifted. He remembers one of Master Zen's teachings. Before you can change your thoughts, you must first become aware of them. Rohan decides to test the principle in his daily life. When he feels the urge to procrastinate, he pauses, takes a deep breath, and reminds himself that the discomfort is temporary. He doesn't need to fight it. He just needs to take one small step forward. With this newfound understanding, Rohan feels a sense of clarity. The resistance is still there, but it no longer controls him. Slowly but surely, he begins turning his awareness into action, taking charge of his life, one mindful step at a time. Awareness is a powerful first step, Rohan thought. But what comes next? How do I truly move forward? Chapter 2. Embracing the flow of life. Rohan realized that his old methods, forcing himself to work harder, trying to push through resistance, weren't working. Despite his newfound awareness of his thoughts, he still felt stuck, unable to complete tasks or find inner peace. Seeking deeper wisdom, Rohan returned to Master Zen. "Master," he said, "I'm aware of my thoughts now, but awareness alone isn't helping me. I still struggle to finish my work and feel at peace. What should I do next?" Master Zen nodded, his eyes twinkling with understanding. "Ah, Rohan, awareness is the beginning, but not the end. Let me share with you the ancient teachings, the principle of non-resistance, the art of moving with life rather than fighting against it." Master Zen continued, "By letting it go, it all gets done." At first, Rohan was confused. Letting go? How could that possibly help him achieve my goals? I have always believed that success comes from pushing harder, doing more, and forcing myself to overcome resistance. The Master continued, "The reason you have been struggling is because you have been fighting against life, and even against your own nature. What if accomplishing hard things wasn't about brute force? What if there was a way to approach challenges that didn't feel like an uphill battle?" The Lotus Method offers a different perspective. The solution is to fight harder, but to stop fighting altogether. Instead, it is about finding the natural flow within the effort. Rohan began to understand the essence. The Master continued, "It doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means moving in harmony with life's rhythms. When we push too hard, life pushes back. But when we align ourselves with the current of life, we move forward with less struggle. This, my son, is the second lesson of the Lotus Method, said Master Zen. Slowly, Rohan started applying this wisdom. When faced with difficult tasks, he stopped treating them as battles to win. Instead, he approached them with acceptance, allowing himself to move with the flow rather than resist it. This shift changed everything. The constant inner conflict of forcing his mind to work harder began to ease. By embracing the wisdom of Master Zen, Rohan discovered that he could face challenges with clarity and calm, achieving more while resisting less. For the first time in a long time, Rohan felt not just productive, but at peace. Chapter 3. The Power of Stillness. Rohan had begun to embrace the flow of life, but he felt something was still missing. His mind wandered restlessly, like a monkey leaping from branch to branch. Seeking a deeper understanding, he turned to Master Zen for guidance. "Master," Rohan asked, "why does my mind still wander? Why can't I quiet it?" The master replied, "Sitting meditation." Master Zen smiles and says, "The answer, Rohan, is simple yet profound: sitting meditation." Rohan is intrigued but skeptical. Just sitting in silence? How could that help? Master Zen nods knowingly. At first, it may seem easy, but when you begin, you'll see how challenging it is to sit still while your mind races. You've been conditioned to constant action, to believing that doing more is the solution. But true clarity comes from within, and it can only be found in stillness. This, my son, is the third step of the Lotus Method, cultivating stillness, said Master Zen. As Rohan begins his practice of sitting meditation, he experiences a shift. At first, his mind feels chaotic, full of racing thoughts. But over time, just like a lake that calms when the wind stops, Rohan's mind begins to settle. With each session, the stillness deepens. He discovers that in these quiet moments, his challenges are not unconquerable obstacles, but opportunities to grow. Rohan comes to understand that his constant urge to be busy, to do more, was what had made his mind so resistant to hard tasks. In stillness, he feels a clarity he hadn't known before. His thoughts become sharper, more focused. Instead of rushing into tasks, Rohan steps back, practices meditation, and lets the answers arise naturally. In this peaceful quiet, he begins to recognize his own inner strength. Rohan begins to see that stillness is like the roots of the lotus flower, buried deep in the mud. Though the mud seems dark and difficult, it nourishes the plant's growth. Similarly, his challenges, the very things that once caused stress, are the fertile soil that can fuel his personal growth. By making stillness a daily practice, Rohan not only calms his mind, but also develops a steady focus. Now, when he faces difficult tasks, his mind is clear, and he moves through challenges with calm, deliberate energy. As Rohan continues to cultivate stillness, a profound transformation begins to take place. His once chaotic and scattered mind evolves into a powerful tool for focus and decisive action. Chapter 4. Turning reflection into action. While meditation has provided Rohan with clarity, he senses there's more to learn. Seeking guidance, he visits Master Zen. "Master," Rohan asks, "I've found stillness and reflection. But how do I turn this clarity into purposeful action?" Master Zen smiles. Much like the monks who channel their inner calm into their martial arts practice, you must approach your tasks with the same precision, purpose, and patience. Every action, no matter how small, deserves your full focus. The Master continues, you don't need to tackle everything at once. Instead, channel your clarity into one task at a time. The monks teach that true mastery lies in harmony. When the mind is still, the body acts with intention. But when the mind is restless, the body's actions become disordered. This, my son, is the fourth step of the Lotus Method. Action with intention, said Master Zen. Rohan realizes that his stillness must be translated into focused, intentional action. Without action, meditation becomes stagnation. Without reflection, action leads to burnout. The key lies in balance. This understanding forms Rohan begins to see that success doesn't come from multitasking or trying to do everything at once. It comes from dedicating his full attention to one thing at a time. With this new mindset, he approaches his work, relationships, and personal goals differently. Each task is met with singular focus and clarity. The tasks he once dreaded now feels manageable. The constant overwhelm fades as he moves through challenges with calm determination. Rohan is no longer scattered. He is deliberate and precise. Like a monk practicing a kata, every movement intentional, every action meaningful. Chapter 5. The Art of Patience. Rohan has been making steady progress. He's learned to calm his mind through stillness and reflection, and has begun turning that clarity into purposeful, intentional action. But as the days pass, a sense of impatience begins to creep in. Despite his focus and effort, the results he hoped for aren't coming as quickly as he envisioned. Frustration starts to build, and doubt sets in. Am I doing something wrong? He wonders. Seeking guidance, Rohan turns to Master Zen once more. Master, he asks, why am I not seeing the results I've worked so hard for? Am I missing something? Master Zen listens carefully, then smiles knowingly. Rohan, do you remember the story of the lotus flower? Rohan nods, and the master continues. The lotus grows slowly, pushing its way through thick mud and murky water before it finally emerges and blooms in all its beauty. Its journey is not rushed, nor does the lotus resist the process. Its beauty lies in its patience. It blooms when the time is right, not a moment sooner. This, my son, is the fifth step of the Lotus Method. The art of patience, said Master Zen. As these words sink in, Rohan begins to see his journey in a new light. Just like the lotus, he realizes that growth takes time. Impatience only creates resistance. Instead of focusing on how quickly results come, Rohan learns to embrace the slowness of his journey. He lets go of the frustration and impatience that have been weighing him down. With this shift in mindset, he finds a peace he has never experienced before. The art of patience becomes his final lesson in mastering his mind. He understands now that his progress, like the lotus's bloom, will come when the time is right. There's no need to rush the process. It will unfold as it's meant to. And so, Rohan continues his journey with a calm heart and steady resolve. Now, the question is, where are you on your journey? Are you caught in resistance, or are you ready to embrace the Lotus Method? Start with one step. Whether it's practicing stillness, focusing with intention, or cultivating patience with yourself, know that your growth will come. Just like the lotus, your bloom will unfold in its own time. If this insight resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and join me as we continue this journey of mastering the mind together.